If you want to elevate your everyday makeup routine, I'm very happy that you found today's video, because today I will finally show you my updated makeup tutorial. And this is just my kind of everyday makeup routine, and many of you have requested that, especially my TikTok girlies. So here I finally am making this video. And for this, while I'm doing my makeup, I'm also like giving you some tips on how to romanticize your life, because let's be honest, romanticizing your life is so important in terms of motivation, overall mood, and just generally it just makes life so much better. So let's get right into it. Starting with foundation, and also make sure to always apply it on the back of your hand first. Now the first tip that I have for you seems to be the most obvious one, but trust me, it's literally making all the difference. So I would say the most important thing in order to romanticize your life is mindfulness. And I mean mindfulness by everything you do, because you really have to see the beauty in little things, or you're just not in the best overall phase of your life. That's completely fine, and honestly, you can fully romanticize it, because most of the time the downfalls that the main characters have will be the beginning of something even better, and their whole like glowing up and becoming that girl chapter is starting right after. So yes, maybe there's something bad happening in your life, but trust me, it's only preparing you for something even better to come. Probably even much better than you would ever imagine. And when I say mindfulness, I specifically mean that it's very important to just appreciate the little tasks that you maybe do on an everyday basis, or just some things that might be annoying, but you just have to do that. For example, when you're not really excited to clean your room, it's all about perspective. Because yes, maybe you have to clean your room, but also try to think of gratitude, because how blessed are you to even have a room, or maybe a whole apartment, or even a house that you can clean? Like, so many people out there don't even have a space that they even could have to clean because they don't have one. So you are so blessed that you have the opportunity to have your own space, and also to be able to clean it. Now this first tip is already linked to tip number 2, which is that generally you just have to have little affirmations and pretty much mindset shifting kind of sentences and overall like motivating texts and all that you can also find pretty easily on TikTok. But you can also, if you have a problem, just type it in on ChatGPT and then let him maybe do affirmations for you in order to solve your mindset for this problem. So let's take the cleaning example once again. Yes, it's annoying that you have to clean your room, and maybe you don't have some sort of staff that cleans your room, but you have to think like that. Yes, you could also do it tomorrow because you're too lazy to do it today, or just too stressed out, but you deserve to live in a clean environment. Because if you won't treat yourself like you're that girl, I'm sorry, but nobody else will. Because if you're presenting yourself with maybe insecurities, lack of confidence, and low self-esteem, they will most definitely also see you with kind of a low value, rather than when you're showing that you're the prize, without being arrogant though, but just overall knowing your worth. And just remember that confidence isn't something that has to be fixed. It's nothing negative, honestly. The only people that say that confidence is something negative are insecure. Literally. Generally, all of the hate that you're getting from people is just coming from a problem they have inside of them. So please don't be part of these people, and just keep going and glowing. Another really important thing to level up your self-love game, pretty much automatically, if you maybe have not that much of self-love already, is to treat yourself. Because girl, you deserve a treat, because you're doing so amazing. And also, maybe if you're not doing amazing, that's also fine for the balance, as long as you have the courage to get up again, because it doesn't really matter how often you fail or overall fall down. It's about how many times you will stand up after that. So in other words, it's never about the cause, it's about the reaction. Another thing that seems to be simple but sometimes can be quite difficult is to overall level up your routines. For example, your makeup routine, or even when you're being productive and, for example, studying, just make yourself a hot chocolate or tea or whatever you like, and just have one kind of drink that you'll make your productivity drink. Because this is a pretty smart way in order to get you a little bit more excited to studying. And maybe you can do, when you're studying for 2 hours or something, then for the first hour one drink, and then after the next hour is finished or something, as some sort of treat, you're treating yourself with another drink. And no, this doesn't have to be alcohol, because we want to do good to our bodies. You can do that if you want to, but I'm definitely not recommending this to you, because the worst thing that I'm drinking is hot chocolate. And even that I'm not doing every day or every second day, because I feel like it's just not that healthy. So yeah. Now another thing that I love to do, even though I don't really do it too often, I pretty much do this once a week, so on a self-care Sunday, is to get yourself a useless hobby. And I know this literally sounds so silly, but what I mean by that is that, especially as a woman, if you always have to serve something and have to do something that has a value for you, honestly it can be very stressful. But seriously, it is so important, especially if you want to tap a little bit more into your most feminine energy, because a very feminine thing to do is to sometimes just not have things under control and just go with the flow. And you simply do that if you maybe just reading a novel that maybe doesn't really have that much value or profit for you, because it doesn't really hold any information in terms of psychology or something you need for your exams or your next essay. But maybe it's just the perfect book for you if you want to overall have a good mood, or just want to do something that you simply want to do. And that's the only reason. And trust me, after that you will feel so much better, and this is such an energy giver, you have no idea. Oh, and by the way, talking about useless activities, or also sometimes having useless things, sometimes you just need to have something that's pretty. So think of something like trinkets, or just overall something that just makes you happy to look at. Or even better, if it's not quite useless, but it looks good and it also does something. For example, the Mavis or Marvis toothpaste, and I have their whitening toothpaste, and compared to drugstore toothpaste, it's literally so expensive. But I'm not just paying for the effect that it has on my teeth, but also on the look of it. Because every time I'm entering the bathroom and I'm looking at this beautiful tube, I'm literally getting so happy, and you can do this with pretty much everything. Another thing that the inner nerd in me is literally so excited to talk about is watching movies that just overall give you a great feeling. For example, Dead Poets Society. Yes, it's sort of a drama, but you have to seize the day. And this is literally the movie that is all about Carpe Diem. So watch this movie, or if you have already, take something out of this quote, because you literally have to remember that you have a free will and you can do whatever you want, and also try to make the most out of every day, because you have to treat every day like it's the day, you know what I mean? For my lips, I avoid overlining it that way, but instead like that. So I overline the middle part of my top lip and then on the corners of each lip. And then I just blend the in-betweens on my natural lip line. Finishing it off with the same lip gloss that I'm also using on my cheeks for even effect. For my eyebrows, I like to just go in with this kind of eyebrow brush and then hairspray, because I went out of my brow gel, so I'm just gonna use that because that works as well. It's just making your brows a little bit, I don't know, not so soft and fluffy. Another thing that I love to do on pretty much a daily basis is to overall just do main character things that really give you the absolute main character energy. For example, prepping the next day in the evening, or maybe for example having a nice evening routine as well. So you can lit some candles and maybe drink some chamomile tea or something, just in order to get a little bit more tired for bed. And something that's linked to that I also personally find very important is to overall have nice clothing and just romanticize your outfits as much as you can. For example, have cute sets when you go to bed and even dress up for bed, because you're spending pretty much half of your life in your bed sleeping. So why not dress up for it, honestly? Because personally, I even like to wear perfume to bed. So you get the vibe. And overall, when you're, for example, wanting to wear an outfit but you end up not wearing it, ask yourself why. Because if the reason is that you're scared of what other people might think about you, no, you will still wear it, because that's not an excuse. Because I used to think that, and honestly, people will judge you either way, no matter what you wear. Maybe even if you're pretty or if you're ugly, then they will judge you, because they're either judging generally or they're jealous. So it doesn't really matter what you wear. And honestly, if you're getting judged by other people but you're still remaining to be your most authentic self, also within your outfits, well, then you have a reason to be very happy, even though maybe they're hating on you, because you can be yourself. And unfortunately, they don't have the power to do that. Now, my eye makeup does look really messy, I know, but since I am a type C kind of girly, I'm just taking my finger and very effortlessly just blending it out in pretty much any direction, but not downwards. Try to make it a little bit lifted, just like so, and then the same obviously also on the other side. And overall, just do your thing, be weird, because honestly, everyone's weird in their own way, so why shouldn't you be weird as well? If it makes you happy, just do whatever you want. I'm just taking myself as an example, because for so many people I'm doing so many weird things. I randomly moved to Switzerland with my boyfriend because I felt like it when I was 18 years old. Now I moved back to Germany, again because I felt like it. And now we're having an apartment in Germany and we will move soon. But I also went from a very anxious and a very insecure nerd to somebody that even gets very excited when I'm taking pictures in the middle of the city, surrounded by lots and lots of people, just taking pictures completely by myself. So literally just me and my phone. And let me tell you, even though I'm a content creator, I have been so freaking scared to just go out and take some pictures all by myself. I'm gonna be honest with you, everyone is so caught up with their own lives, they don't even really care. And the only feedback that I have gotten was honestly very, very positive. I'm always trying to be as kind and nice as possible to these people, generally to all people obviously, but because karma is a real thing. If you think positive and act very kind, you will attract more kind people. And this is the same thing that happened to me. And even if you do get some hate, girl, don't let any jealous people stop you from achieving your dream life. Because when you have your dream life, you wouldn't care about them either way. To finish off the look, I'm just going to apply some lashes. And while that, my last kind of advice for you is to overall get yourself a good planner. And if you don't know where to start, I also have a free weekly planner as some sort of sample for the planners that are made for the whole year that I'm also featuring on my Etsy shop. But the reason I love planners is literally because they help you to reflect yourself and maybe to reflect some issues that you have within your head. And also find solutions. So self-reflection, manifestation, planning obviously, because literally you will get so much more things done if you have a structured everyday life. So get yourself a planner. So this is the final makeup look. I hope you enjoyed today's video. So your story begins now. It's the new chapter and literally just keep going. You will get that and I'm so proud of you. And also, if you guys were wondering why I'm combining the makeup tutorial with sort of tips to romanticize your life, because doing your makeup, or generally doing it pretty much every day and having it as some sort of included routine in your everyday life, it's literally so positive in a very symbolic way, because obviously makeup shouldn't define you, but if you have a signature look that you can stick to, and I would say this for now on is my signature look, every time you're looking in the mirror you'll literally get reminded that you love yourself so much that you're willing to put the effort into your looks and yourself and just treat yourself with a cute little makeup look, because that's also some sort of treat. And the other thing is you'll pretty much also be much more productive because you got yourself a cute outfit, maybe done your hair a little bit and also wore some makeup. It doesn't really have to do that much, but at least maybe fix your eyebrows and apply some lip gloss, or you can also do a little bit more just like I do, but this is just my personal preference. So yeah, I really hope that helped and I love you guys so much. Bye bye!